Security Administration. Visit kyretain.org.
St. Jude exceeds any expectation or any dream I could have ever had about a hospital. I was told we wouldn't get a bill. I didn't quite process that. How's this possible? It's possible through all the wonderful people who donate. I don't know if they are aware of what they do, but they're saving children's lives every day.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Patrolman Donald Ronenbaum, Covington Police Department. Cause of death, struck by vehicle.
Trooper Joe Ward Jr., Kentucky State Police. Cause of death, struck by vehicle.
Patrolman John Colopy.
Patrolman Frank Herman.
Officer Deidre Mangado, Louisville Metro Police Department. Cause of death, struck by vehicle.
If you see flashing lights on the highway, be sure to move over into the other lane. Help protect those who protect you. A message from the Kentucky State Police.
The WAIN Community Calendar brought to you by McDonald's of Columbia. Hands for Hospice, volunteering a rewarding way to enhance the lives of hospice patients and their families. You'll find companionship with fellow volunteers and joy in serving others. TJ Regional Health is always looking for committed and caring members of our community who want to volunteer for hospice help. The end-of-life transition can bring uncertainty and unease for patients and their families. Volunteering for hospice helps ease this burden. Volunteering activities could include reading, providing snacks, shopping, games, companionship, or working in the hospice office. Personal patient care would not be involved. TJ Sampson Hospice is accepting applications to serve in the volunteer program Hands for Hospice. For more information, contact Brittany Grissom at 270-659-3300 or brittany.grissom@tjsampson.org.
We don't play at weather like some. Dependable, up-to-date weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WAIN.
Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight with lows around 36. Easterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy tomorrow, chance for scattered showers 61. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 47.
CBS Sports Radio 1270 AM WAIN and W270DI, Columbia, Kentucky.
You're listening to 93.5 Hot Country, Columbia, Kentucky, home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics that captured the 2015-16 Learfield Directors Cup.
2-1 pitch, swung on, hit deep into left field. That ball is deep. That ball is out of here. A grand slam, game-winning home run from Dawson Kahn, and the Indians come from 5 down in the bottom of the 7th inning, and they get a walk-off grand slam from Dawson Kahn, and that was going to do it for this one.
Back to JNS Sports Talk Live and Local. Chris Wells.
John Shelley. Was that you introducing me?
Well, yeah, I was introducing. You had something you wanted to share. You got the sage grouse and the prairie chickens. I mean, seriously, it's thriving. It's a thriving state for upland birds. And few pheasants, not as many as
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're not over thunder chicken hunter or prairie chicken, whatever you call it?
What you're talking about.
Have you ever watched Gunsmoke?
Now water starts to fly everywhere on that Lindsey Wilson sideline. Blue Raiders are going to win this one, and boy, they're excited, and good for them. There's the bath that Coach Oliver's going to get, and joy in Columbia. Wow. Lindsey Wilson is bringing Big Red home, and they are celebrating on the field as they should. The Blue Raiders, NAI National Champions in 2021.
Welcome to JNS Sports Talk Live and Local, and my partner Scott Bennett and our production engineer Austin Armstrong. We've got a missing team member tonight, Scott. Chris Wells, some work obligations, cannot be here tonight.
Yeah, I hate to we've not been together for this will be the 3rd week in a row, and next week will be the 4th week in a row. You're going to be on vacation, and I told you a while ago, it seems like it's going to be May before we all get back together, just in time to talk Derby. I'm sure you're going to talk Derby to us at that point in time.
We got a lot to talk about tonight as our sponsors, JNS Auto Sales, TJ Regional Health, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College. And you can follow us on Facebook at WAIN 101.9 FM and 1270 AM and on YouTube at WAIN Radio. And Scott, we're now live on TV.
Yeah.
I guess you call YouTube TV.
Yeah. A lot of people's got those apps where you can just watch it on your TV. So it's a scary thing. We've got faces for radio, not television.
Let's get right to it. Our first segment, we're going to talk about the 5th Region boys and girls tournaments. We've already kind of talked about the girls tournament a little bit, Scott, but we'll go back and mention that as well. Dare County boys, a tough, hard-fought effort. They fall to Elizabethtown 56-47 in the quarterfinals of the 5th Region boys tournament.
Yeah, just never could get over the hump. We got down, I think it was 14 there in the third quarter, come back and cut it. Did we cut it to 2, John, or 4?
48-46.
Okay, so cut it to 2, and just never could really get over the hump there. So I'm sure we don't talk about it, but it's when you I know you can't compare scores either. Every game's different, but E-Town went on to win the region, and we had the closest score margin from anybody that they played. So I really thought that night, and I think I might have mentioned it. I thought, in my personal opinion, the winner of that game would go to the finals, and obviously they did. I didn't know if they would win it or not, but I think that was the good side of the draw, just my personal opinion, with Greene and Bardstown being there. Greene County had kind of underachieved, in my opinion, until late in the season. They won a few games, and Bardstown wasn't the vintage Bardstown either. They still had a bunch of athletes, but they just didn't have the firepower they normally have. So whoever gets by that first round game that we dropped to E-Town, I thought was going to the finals. And I really thought, I think I picked last week's show, I picked E-Town. That was more of a just a pick because I thought whoever won that game would go to the finals, but because I wasn't sure who would go out the bottom. And when I got to think about it, I really thought LaRue might win it. And I feel bad for LaRue. I mean, there's a lot of people that may not like LaRue County's team and all that kind of stuff. But Coach Childress is he's snake bit, man. he's had some good teams out there and just cannot get over the hump.
Some people will argue. I got my close circle of friends that love high school basketball will argue that Paul did his best job this year ever. He had 2 kids that absolutely did not look at the basket. So he had 3 guys that really shot the 3 well, and he had 2 guys that they didn't try to do anything but rebound, play defense, and that kind of thing. But anyway, they go 5 for 31, if you hadn't heard, in the finals from 3. And they get beat last night, I think 55-44.
I think there were some similarities to Dare County's team in LaRue County. The kind of live and die by the 3. And that's kind of what we do. Although we didn't shoot very many in the regional game, I didn't think we shot enough of them, honestly.
Back to that Adair County game, we had said on Sports Talk Live and Local that I thought Adair County needed to make somewhere in the range of 10 to 14 threes to have a chance because of the big boy Aiden Evans. Inside Scott, he altered so many shots in that game. I think he had 8 he had blocks. seven blocks. 8 blocks.
7 in the first half. Only had 1 in the second half.
7 and 1, 8 blocks. But I just thought, after you go in there a couple times and get it thrown back, then it's kind of gets in your mind. It's a psychological thing. So, he really controlled the paint. He did a nice job of rebounding the ball. Didn't try to do too much. Their guards, Jawan Williams 13, Jaquan Williams with 9, and 3 others with 6. They spread it out. Of course, Aiden led them with 14. Adair County 4 for 16 from 3, 17 for 45 overall, 37%. You got to think it needs to be above 50 probably. With the athletes, E-Town has to have a shot, Scott.
Oh, yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head about the 9 or 10 3-pointers. I think that's what we needed. And you go back and look, if we'd hit that, we'd have hit forward and lost by 9. You would think if we hit, even take some of those 2-point baskets, make them 3-point baskets, and you're right there in it. And we were right there in it. We fouled there at the end, and but it just never could get over the hump after we drew within 2 there in the second half. I was just glad to see the fight we had. It would have been very easy to give up when we went down 14 there at the first. It was a 1 or 2 point game at halftime, and then E-Town came out on fire, and then we made that comeback, but just never could get over the hump. And I think, I'm sure that Coach Breeze is disappointed in some things, the kids are disappointed in some things, but overall, I mean, I think it's a successful season.
Yeah, positive way to look at it. We played them closer. As far as spread, margins on the scoreboard closer than anybody else.
Yeah, it's just hard to. You just don't match up with 6'10" every day, and it's just hard to do. And like you said, he just kept on tossing shots out of there. There's 2 or 3 sent up in the stands, I remember, and it was just.
I think
you just don't see it every day.
I think turning a little bit. You got to give E-Town's defense a little bit of credit. They were really sticky to our guards. I think the scouting report was, hey, let's make some of these guards put it on the floor a little bit and not get loose from 3. Blaine Barden only got 3 attempts up. He was 2 for 3. I know Brayton Coomer had a 3. Connor was 1 for 4 from 3, 6 for 12 from 2. He led the Indians with 18, and also congratulations to him on the. Of course, they selected an all-regional player there after the game for making that. But Indians fell 56-47. Anything else, Scott, you want to add about that one?
Not necessarily about that one. Just kind of looking ahead a little bit. I'm pretty sure he'll do it. I think Coach Breeze will probably step the schedule up a little bit next year. I think he's got 8 of his top 10 returning, all 5 starters returning. I look for him to step the schedule up a little bit next year and take a few of those gimme games out of it. I mean, I'll just call them what they are. There's 2 or 3 teams in there that. They just don't match up with us at all, and it'd be good to replace them with
Scott. We were talking
some better teams
before we went on the air about Adair County doesn't lose anybody, but guess what?
Nobody else does.
Those top teams in the region, which will make the 5th region a lot stronger. You know, LaRue's going to return everybody, pretty much E-Town. I tell you, I was really impressed with Washington County's team. Taylor County, for the most part.
And a team that didn't make the regional tournament. I mean,
Greene County.
Central Hardin made the regional tournament. They returned everybody. Everybody that made the regional tournament returns just about everything. It's really sophomore and junior dominated. But a team that didn't make the regional tournament this year that could very well win it next year is North Hardin. They're loaded too, and it's they're all sophomores and juniors too. So I mean, it's you know whoever makes it out of that 17th district is going to have a shot at it. Central Hardin just happened to draw LaRue first game, and it's somebody's going to have to would have had to draw LaRue. I think Adair County lucky by not drawing because I don't think we match up as well with them. I think that I would have liked to play Washington County. For some reason, we seem like we have Washington County's number. We hadn't played them didn't play them this year, but last year they were ranked higher than us, and we handled them pretty easy over at home. 2 years ago, we played them first game of the season over there at Washington County and won over there. So we kind of, I think it seemed like to me, we kind of got their number just a little bit, and would have liked to play them.
The one thing I noticed watching, of course, we went over and watched the first night, the quarterfinals, or actually the second night after we got beat as well. But Washington County looked so good in their uniforms. I mean, they're big, strong, and you know, they got a guard transfer from Thomas Nelson, and
Riley Brown.
Yeah, and they're going to be a hand. He's going to be a handful. I think his name's Weiss. He's about 6 foot,
big freshman.
And you know, I think they noted one game this year he had 8 dunks in one game. So he what I noticed about him is he was kind of the leader out there. He was telling guys what to do and where to go, and you don't really see a freshman do that.
No, especially
very vocal.
Especially on a team that had so many players that returned. It's good for him, and I think I've watched. Baker could probably play somewhere college in basketball, but Baker's sport is baseball. He throws 90 miles an hour. I mean, he's just got a perfect pitcher's frame. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7". Weiss might be the one that, especially if he'll grow a few more inches, and he right now he's skinny as a rail, but you know he's going to put weight on because he's just a freshman. So I mean, I think he's the one that's got he could have a real bright future ahead of him because he can play inside and out both.
And talking about the regional tournament just a little bit, Bardstown did defeat Greene County by 2 points and then lost to E-Town, so that put E-Town in the finals on the top side. And then Washington County, kind of, I guess you'd call it an upset over Taylor. And then LaRue and Central Hardin were in a battle, and then LaRue took care of Washington County to get in the final. So you had a LaRue E-Town matchup, and E-Town advances as they play McCracken County on March 15th, and that's listed on KHSAA as 1:30.
Yeah, it's the first game of the tournament, very first game of the tournament.
Well, they had one listed at 11. They had one listed at 11.
Okay. I was going by the bracket. The bracket at the top.
Yeah.
I forget they mixed those
up. I believe it's the second game of the morning session. Scott, we want to switch gears a little bit. We got some congratulatory things we want to acknowledge here, and very proud of these two men. Got inducted the other night into the 5th Region Hall of Fame, and very deserving. And I'm going to start with the first inductee, Coach Mark Fudge, and of course everybody knows Mark, and his 12 years as Indians head coach. The tribe appeared in 6 regional tournaments, capturing the 5th region crown in both 2007 and 2009, and district titles in 7 and 8. And Scott, just thinking back to those teams 7 and 9, they were just rock solid, tough. Had good guard play. They were scrappy. They played defense. Coach Fudge, you know, he worked with me for 3 years, and he's really, really good at both structure offensively and really coaching defense. Being able to draw charges, rebound the ball, etc. But those two teams stick out to you, Scott? They were dynamic.
They were. The only thing that sticks out to me, and I don't want this to be a negative, but to me, the 08 team was the most talented one he had. In all honesty, I mean, the 07 team, they were great, and they really thrived under Joseph Wilson, Chris Lewis's leadership, because and they really rode those two. You had Nick Fudge and Darren Ballou that were super talented, but they were only sophomores then, and they really thrived under that. And I think that one kind of came out of nowhere. They got on a run there at the end of the year, and really played well there late and made the state tournament. Actually won a game in the state tournament. Got beat by Scott County, and I think Scott County went on.
I actually got the privilege of calling that game. I actually called that game. My partner, play-by-play, David Herbst, had some kind of work commitment, and I got to go up there and call that game, and that was really exciting. That game went to the wire. It was two really good teams, and I will never forget that memory, going up there and refereeing and calling that one. But
the 09 team, like I said, they were great. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were great. They run into the wrong team at the state tournament. The one team that played the way Grayson County played. If we played anybody else, I think we could have had a chance at winning it. The Grayson County style did not match up with us at all, and I just hated that we got that draw.
But going back to Coach Fudge, his teams won nearly 60% of their games during his season at the helm. 214 wins versus 148 losses. Coach Fudge also coached girls softball at Adair County when the sport transitioned from slow pitch to fast pitch. And during his 6 seasons as fast pitch coach, they won 60% of their games, and they won 2 district titles. So a lot of people don't remember Coach Fudge, but he did work with girls softball as well. He was a player. He was a player at Adair County, 10 varsity letters, and he participated in basketball, baseball, cross country, and track. He was cross country individual regional champion and won the 2-mile event at the regional track and field competition in 1978. And he was a member of the 79 district championship and regional semifinal basketball team. And probably the most proud, if he were sitting here in the studio right now, Coach Fudge is very active in his church, and he's a worship team leader and a deacon. He and his wife Denise serve a 5-county area coordinator for the Samaritan's Purse Operations Christmas Child, which is a global ministry, and now that's kind of become regionalized here. It's a big event. I know we participate in our church, and that's a great thing. I know Mark is very proud of that. He serves a 6-county area on the FCA Board of Directors, and he and Denise love spending time with their 2 sons and 3 grandchildren. And just
they probably like to spend more time with their grandchildren now than let's be honest.
But they got recognized over at the regional final. Scott's getting ready to read our next candidate, and so it was a nice thing, and Coach, we appreciate Craig Biggs sending us kind of an SID kind of a press release, and I got to see the picture with Craig and Coach Young and Coach Fudge, where they kind of took a picture together. So that was nice.
What's ironic about the whole thing, the tournament was at Hart County, so the ceremony was at Hart County during the finals, and probably if you had to ask either one of them, one of their toughest losses they ever took, both of them took it in that gym. Coach Young in '89, Coach Fudge in 2008. I mean, that I said it in the game over there. We're snake bit in that gym. I don't know what it is about over there, and it's actually a new gym now, but it still sits in the same spot it sat in the other one. They just basically tore the other one down. But it was, to me, it was ironic. That's where this happened. But going to Coach Young, Keith Young was head coach at Adair County High School for 12 seasons. During his tenure, his record was 253 wins, 108 losses, a 70% winning percentage. His 253 wins ranked second in school history, and his 29 wins in the '89 season is second in a single game wins in a season in school history. Adair County won the region in '94-'95 and finished runner-up 3 times during his career. Coach Young also had a successful playing career at Adair County from '68 to '71, finishing with a career 77-41 record as a player. He went on to play college at Lindsey Wilson College. At Lindsey, he was a member of the 1972 National Championship team. He finished his coaching career as fifth region member of Greene County, where he finished with a career record, or a record at Greene County of 102 and 89, and had 3 All-A regional championships. He won his 400th career game on February 5th, 2021, and overall he finished with 355. Or excuse me, that's not right. See, he won his 400th career game on February 5th. That's counting his time before he came to Adair County. That's what it is. Total in the 5th region at Adair and Greene County, he was 355 and 197. I think he coached it somewhere in Tennessee, and I think he wasn't Casey County. It was somewhere in this 12th region. I can't remember where. Harrodsburg, maybe. He's told me before. I've talked to Coach Young about that before. I knew it was somewhere in the 12th region, maybe Harrodsburg, off the top of my head, but I'm not positive about that. So, very deserving. For both these coaches, they both had stellar careers. They're 2 of the 3 coaches in Adair County history. I'm going to take it back. They're 2 of the 4 coaches in Adair County history that's taken the team to the state tournament. On the boys' side, these 2, and Coach John Burr and Coach Kim Gooden on the girls' side in 1992. So, congrats to them. And I'm not sure how often it comes around. I know in the 5th region they kind of go on a rotation basis on who they put in. They go school by school. They let so many schools pick or nominate people, and then they vote on it to let them in. But it's a rotation basis.
And you're talking about paying your dues. Mark Fudge, of course, he was my assistant when I came here in '98, but he had coached middle school freshmen.
That's what I cannot believe on this accolade here. He coached the 1991 John Adair Generals to an excellent record.
Yeah.
And their 6th man, I mean, I don't know why he didn't play him more.
He owed one of those teams still a pizza party. I don't know.
That was the freshman team in '92. That was.
I heard that a little bit.
I was on that one too.
Another talk show here locally, but
that was one wild day. I'll just tell you.
But we're going to take a break. And I think that's a good spot to take a break. When we come back, we're going to mention the girls' regional tournament. And we're also going to get into some conference tourney basketball college-wise when we come back on JNS Sports Talk Live and Local.
Hi, this is Connie at Hot Prince in Columbia. In August, we'll reach a huge milestone in our business of 25 years, and we've decided we want to celebrate all year long. So every month, we'll be having a drawing for a $50 gift card to a local Columbia business. Just go to our Facebook page for more details. We'll also have an open house in August to celebrate our big day where we will be giving away our grand prize. Remember, we are here for all your screen printing, embroidery, engraving, and signage needs. We are in Columbia. We are Hot Prince.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosalesky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
United Citizens Bank. This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Class of 2023, congratulations from all of us at Fork Broadcasting and from First and Farmers National Bank. Honor and salute your senior by submitting your graduate's photo to be featured on 93.5 WAIN's online Senior Salute Grad Book, a digital tribute to the graduating class of 2023. 93.5 WAIN and First and Farmers National Bank want to help celebrate your graduates. Submit a photo of your graduate to be included in this special digital salute to our seniors.
Photo submission information. Only vertical photos will be accepted. Please limit photo captions to 11 words max. Anything longer may be cut off. Must be at least 18 years of age and legally allowed to submit photo of graduating student.
All of this information and more is available on our website, 935wain.com. Class of 2023, you made it. Congratulations from all of us, Fork Broadcasting and First and Farmers National Bank.
J&S Sports Talk Live and Local. Thanks to our sponsors, J&S Auto Sales, TJ Regional Health, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College. Scott, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Oh, great.
Coach Keith Young, his 95 team. We talked about the 07, 09 teams. Of course, I'm good friends with several members of that team. And, and I was sitting in Rupp Arena that night when they got beat on the last second heave from Mr. Thomas. But anything stand out about that team?
Just how big they were. I mean, like I said, that's my group. I graduated in '95. I mean, I didn't play after my freshman year, but that's one of my regrets. I wouldn't have seen the floor. I mean, obviously I wasn't that good, but just if I would have just hung with it, I'd at least got to sit on the bench at Rupp Arena anyway. But just how big that team was. I mean, you had your two guards were over 6 foot tall. And you had Marcus and Bus Caldwell. That Marcus was about 6'4", Bus was 6'5", 6'6", whatever he was. And then when we were juniors, B.J. Snap moved back. He was here when we were real young. His dad Roger coached at Lindsey Wilson. He came back when we were juniors, and you added 6'8", 6'8" on top of that, and just really big and really athletic for that side. I mean, I've said it a million times, is just how freakish of an athlete Chris Caldwell was. I mean, he was 6'6", 340 pounds or so, and could move. I mean, I still to this day just his athleticism is just unbelievable. And then I mean, what it done is having that size and everything inside, everybody had to push inside to try to help. And Toby just made a living out there at the 3-point line. I mean, and he could drive and everything too. But I've always thought, and I think Toby probably agree, that having those big guys inside helped his game as much as anything, because he always could shoot, he could always score. But just having those other guys there just kept people from having to. They couldn't double and triple team him because they would leave somebody else open and somebody else could score.
I think if Coach Young were here, he would also say Ralph McQuarrie was a big part of his program, and Ralph was in my family, and I still communicate with his sons quite often, Paul and John, and I know he was with him during his tenure there, those 12 seasons.
Yeah.
And, they had a special relationship.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And going back to that 89, 90, right in there, they, like I said, they should have won in '89. I won't talk too much about the officiating, but it was suspect at best with our Hart County that night. And that 1990 team just they got the wrong draw. I mean, they got North Hart on their side, and it was us and North Hart, and we played in the semifinals. And if the draw would have been right, we'd have played in the finals. It's just how it happened that year. And those three teams, besides the ones that was my age, those three teams are the ones I always remember. The 89, I had my uncle played on that team, so I was always following them all the way up through. And then in 90, you had what I consider probably basketball talent-wise was probably better than 95, just in my opinion. That's my opinion only. Toby would disagree, I guarantee it. But that 90 team was talented. You had the Walker brothers, Jeff, Chris Coomer, Nathan Lasley came off the bench of that team, and they were fun to watch. And that's the team that won 29 games. And like I said, it was us and North Hardin, and we just happened to draw the same side of the bracket. And that's really all you can say about it. So that's those two guys. From what in my memory, I know I was alive when Red Nixon was coach, but in my memory, that's the two that I remember the most. I mean, when you were coaching there in the late '90s, I was away at school. I don't remember seeing you coach a game here, but I was away at school at that time. So, but those are the two. Basically, when I was going through school, Coach Young was there. When I got back, when I went to college and settled in and all that kind of stuff, Coach Fudge was the coach, and my brother and your son played for him. So those are the two I know as far as coaching wise.
Scott, let's transition here to the Boys State Tournament. I know a lot of local people take an interest in that.
Be a lot of people taking interest in it this year. There's some of the players in it.
Some really good players in it. But what about the story of Breathitt County? Let's start there.
That's just amazing.
Their coach, B.B. King, dies 2 games into the season. If you hadn't heard this story, you need to listen to this one.
Yeah.
And they felt like they didn't have a qualified – they didn't feel like from their staff that was remaining that they had anybody could do the coaching role, the head coaching role. So they went to the football coach and said, hey, you're a good leader of men. The football coach basically says, I know nothing about basketball, but will you take them the rest of the season? And he did, and they win the region. So what a Cinderella story. And he won't be back next year. He just did it this year.
I don't blame him for walking away from it. Obviously, he'll still be football coach, but I mean,
Scott, you know, what's that say about a little bit about motivation, having kids run through the wall, and into the Jimmies and Joes maybe more so than X's and O's.
Oh, yeah.
But Breathitt County's got to be the kind of the Cinderella story up there. Lyon County, Scott, you talk about that young man.
Yeah, Travis Perry's a junior. UK's recruiting him. They said that Jerry Stackhouse was in the gym last night at the regional finals for Vanderbilt. He's got several offers. I think Indiana's offered him, maybe Purdue even. But UK has offered him. Just the record that I felt like would never get touched in high school basketball in Kentucky is the all-time scoring leader. It's, King Kelly Coleman had it since, our mid-50s, I think. I didn't think anybody would ever touch it. And Travis Perry, as a junior, so he's still got another year, needs 21 points to break the record. So obviously, God forbid something happen, he's going to break that record.
A nice.
Yeah, he could very well break it.
They will
at
probably
Rupp.
recognize him.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. You almost got to. I mean, I know when a kid gets 1,000 points or 1,000 rebounds or whatever here at the high school, they always announce it and they'll have a ceremony. But I doubt they'll have a ceremony up there. But I would be shocked if it's not announced to the crowd and things like that. And I mean, he's averaged over 20 points a game from his 7th grade year on. That's the one thing he's got over Coleman. Coleman just played for the 4 years, and Coleman may not have played his freshman year. I think there were some rules different back then. I'm not sure about in high school. I know in college, freshmen didn't play. High school, they very well may have, especially, I mean, he's from a small place, Wayland.
Scott Frederick Douglass, the 1-point win over Catholic in that final, Lexington Catholic.
Very controversial call in that one.
Yeah. Clark County North Laurel first round. That'll be a good matchup. Of course, Clark County was defeated by this LaRue County team that was in the 5th region final.
Clark County is the defending state champion.
Scott, Pulaski knocks off Lincoln. That's a little bit of a shocker, I think, in the final. They had dominated them a couple weeks prior.
Yeah, that's that was the two best teams in the 12th, and good to see them play in the finals. And it was at Lincoln County's home court, and that's the thing of last year Lincoln beat them at Pulaski in the finals. This year Pulaski beats them at Lincoln in the finals. So it's neat there, but there's some very good storylines. I know Woodford County made it. Their head coach.
Woodford County turned the tide on Collins.
See that score?
Yeah, they held them
21 points, 43-21. But Dennis Johnson's their coach. He was always a good basketball player in high school, but he's more known for being a football player at UK. He played in the NFL for a few years. His son Jasper is a prospect. Basketball prospect, 6'4", 6'5". I think he may be a junior, but I think he's just a sophomore. I'm pretty sure he's just a sophomore. Really good player. There's a for casual, not necessarily casual, but viewers that are spectators that don't really have an interest in as far as their teams going to the state tournament. There'll be a lot of great players you can watch this year. I mean, there's Warren Central, I think, to me, got the best draw as far as to make a run. I think they're, to me, unless they get upset, they should be in the Final Four. If they don't get to at least the Final Four, it's somebody's upset them. But I think Warren East has got a good shot at winning it. I like their path. That bottom, I don't know what happened. Mail very well may come out of it. Or is Mail on the top? You got it wrote down over there?
I don't have the actual bracket.
Okay.
I just got the first round matchups.
Okay.
So.
But I think anytime whoever comes out of the 7th district is going to have something to say about the state tournament every year. I mean, it's that 7th region to me is the toughest region in the state. That to me, that and the 11th are the two. That's obviously Louisville and Lexington regions, but whoever comes out of those regions usually has something to say about things.
Scott, briefly, girls state tournament, already 2 games played earlier before we came on the air. Owensboro Catholic defeated Bowling Green 54-51. Sacred Heart with a dominating win 70-33 over Lawrence County. You got Mercer County and Clark County probably playing right now. Frederick Douglass and North Laurel. And then 4 games Thursday, Knott Central and Ashland, Bethlehem, McCracken. So that's our region represented there. Bethlehem got a nice team.
Yeah, McCracken does too.
Cooper, yeah, Mercy playing Cooper and Simon Kenton playing Henderson County. So.
Yeah, I don't know that much about. I know the 2 Louisville schools will be good. Those 2 private schools in Louisville are always good. Them and the 2 private schools in Manual. Manual didn't make it this year, but those are really the known for their basketball.
And Scott, just really quick, going back to that girls regional tournament, if you hadn't heard, Taylor County Bethlehem met in that girls final, and it went into overtime.
Yep.
And Bethlehem prevailed 63-60, and
I caught the very end of overtime, and actually Taylor County had a 2-point lead, and Bethlehem scored the last 5 points of the game to win it. Taylor County don't lose a player. They don't lose, but maybe one. They only have like one junior, so they're going to be a factor for years to come. You never know about Bethlehem. I mean, they've won what I think it was 3 out of 4 when we played them. So now they've won 4 out of 5, 4 out of the last 5 years. So they've obviously got a program, and they do have the one thing they got going for them. They're a private school, so they're not bound necessarily by school districts. People can transfer in and things like that a little easier, I think. So you never know what I know they lose the Player of the Year in Philly Atru, but they had some good-looking junior guards. Was good, yeah.
And Dare County, if you hadn't heard, they drew Bethlehem first game of the girls region, lost 67-31. And congratulations to Ellie Cheatham on her all-region award, 17 points and 11 rebounds. Sarah Collins chipped in 3 threes for 9 points. So
how many times, John, can you say your boys and girls team both lost in the regional tournament to the eventual champions?
Yeah. They need to I got some really good friends around town play the lottery a lot. Some of them are luckier than others. So we'll get a couple of these guys next year to go over and when they draw the pills out. And we won't let the coaches. I assume the coaches.
How do they do the drawing? I've never have known.
Well, they used to draw for order. And then
like our district champion has to play a district runner-up, and you can't be on the same side of the bracket as your district mate.
Once the couple pills are drawn, and if that team's in your district, then you have to be in the opposite side.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how they do that. But
so do the winners draw, or do they just have them all and they?
I think the winners draw.
Okay, so they draw a slot. Okay, I've never been to the regional meeting.
But there's a catch to that because. No, there wouldn't be a catch to the winners drawing, and then the runner-ups.
That's where it
have to be partitioned. Yeah.
Like where Taylor County drew in the bottom half of the bracket as district champion, we had to be in the top.
So, interesting there. Scott, just really quickly, while we're still at the Dare County, talking about the Dare County High School and high school sports, baseball team. Opens up March 13th. That's 5 days.
Yeah, don't seem possible, and just in time for the weather to turn back cold again.
Yeah, never fails. At Washington County, Ryan McQuarrie, I guess he said hi in passing of the night. I know he's excited about the season. The one comment he said they're going to be young.
Yep, they got a young squad.
But they play 13 back-to-back. 13th at Washington, 14th at Casey. 16th at John Hardin, 17th at Fort Knox, and the 18th at Pulaski. So his first 5 games are on the road.
I'm not sure. I've like talked around about that. I'm not sure about his scheduling. That's a pretty rough way to start. And you got some, and you got some that's not pushovers in there too. So you're probably going to be facing. We talked about Bo Baker a while ago from Washington. You'll probably be facing him. I don't know if he's ready to pitch or how long he'll be ready to pitch, but that's probably who you're going to see that very first game of the year. So seeing 90 miles an hour first game of the year is probably not going to be much fun.
And their first home game, Indians' first home game, be Allen County on March 20th. So be sure and come out. Beautiful venue out there. Yep. Just a great place to watch a high school game. Braden Coomer, boys basketball starter for the Indians. He'll be the leader of that baseball squad.
Probably, yeah. I would say
one of the leaders.
One of the leaders, yeah. I mean, you've got. I think they said in the scrimmage they had Monday night that they had 3 or 4 kids pitch. They said Jake McQuarrie had a good inning pitching. Bryce Russell back after breaking his hand last year late in the season. He threw some, and I don't think Brayton threw it all because he just came out of basketball. Connor Roy didn't throw any. I was told that Aiden Smith. A couple sophomores, Aiden Smith and Isaac Rogers, both had good velocity. They said Aiden's really throwing it hard. So It'll be interesting to see how they, like Coach McCrary said, they're going to be young. I think they've only got one senior on the whole roster, if I'm not mistaken. There might be more than that, but I know of one, and so they're going to the youth. I'm hoping maybe, if possibility, next week we can try to get the baseball and softball coaches on. Maybe if it works out. I know you're going to be out of town, but try to get a little preview. Their season's already started, but on Wednesdays they usually don't play. So maybe
our producer Austin Armstrong, the 21st will be the first baseball broadcast that we'll have that one.
You got softball next week, don't you?
Yeah. Monday. 1.9. So the first baseball will be 21st.
Yeah, and softball will be the opening Mondays, the 13th. We'll have that one on 101.9 and 1270, and also we're YouTubing this year. Have them on YouTube or video on YouTube. So watch on Facebook. We always link that YouTube page from the Facebook page. So if you're not able to make it out or don't want to fight the 30-degree weather here the first few weeks of the season, just tune in on YouTube and listen to.
Just a quick transition. Girls softball. Coach Brown, he opens up, as Scott said, on the 13th home against Monroe, 14th at Warren Central, 16th at Caverna, 17th home against Nelson. So that's their first kind of week schedule. And just really quickly, while we're talking about baseball and softball, Kentucky, University of Kentucky baseball off to a good start, 10-2. Bunch of guys out of the portal. Louisville, 11-1. So those are two good starts. Lindsey Wilson baseball, 8-5, 1-2 in the Mid-South. So they've gotten off to a decent start. And their softball team, Lindsey Wilson softball, 8-4 overall, 2-0 in the Mid-South. And if Chris Wells were here, he would have all the details as far as those games. And
he'd probably be talking track and tennis and
he'd be talking.
I'm not sure if wrestling's over yet or not. It'll all be getting close if it's not.
And I got to tell this in case Wells is listening. He probably isn't, but I actually sat down while there's some college basketball on the other night, and I watched the Big Ten wrestling tournament, and it was pretty impressive. It might have been the Big 12. But it was the Big 12 because there was a Baylor lightweight that impressed me.
Yeah.
And but it was a Big 12 wrestling tournament. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, they're unbelievable athletes. They are. I'll tell you, you've been a good wrestler, John. You look like you can.
I don't know. I would have been more.
You're a scrambler.
I would have been more effective as a fundraiser event. Me maybe getting in my Speedos and jumping in a mud pit, wrestling somebody, for charity.
You think people pay to get in or pay not to come?
Yeah, I would have been better at sitting on a dunking board than throwing softballs at me. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to talk a little college hoops, Kentucky, Louisville, and some conference tournaments already beginning.
Big retirement this afternoon. I don't know if you heard about that. We'll tease that one.
We'll be back on JNS Sports Talk Live and Local.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except Fort Broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, Fort employees and their immediate families. Event sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. For prizes valued at over $150, only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
If you've ever lost your debit card, you know how important having control is. Now, you can get the debit card control you need with the convenience you want with Bank of Columbia's mobile banking app. With our app, you can put lost or stolen cards on lockdown with card controls, and you can set spending limits by the type of purchase. Card control and convenience, count on it with Bank of Columbia's mobile banking app. Get started today by downloading our app on your smartphone. Find us online at bankcolumbia.com. Bank of Columbia is an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back to JNS Sports Talk Live and Local. And we miss our fearless leader. He's not here tonight, Chris Wells, on assignment. And don't forget, you can listen live on our website, 1019wain.com. Or you can download our app free of charge on the Apple Store or Google Play. Just search WAIN Radio and take us everywhere you go. Scott, I think we had a lot of people listening on that app. And we don't know what happened at Marion County other than their Verizon built-in service just went kaput over there. We couldn't get it. Just
couldn't hold signal.
Couldn't hold signal, and we actually we hired Scott's brother. Actually bought him a big meal at Wings and Rings, and his only job was to keep hitting connect, and it just didn't. The last. The most exciting part we didn't get with the 1 point loss, but it was
the good thing about it is we don't have to worry about a district tournament game in that gym for another 4 years. Hopefully, technology will be a little bit different at that point in time. We did find out, and maybe we can have it worked out beforehand. The possibility of being hardwired into the internet over there, that might be the trick, but we'll need to. Like I said, we've got 4 years to worry about that. We won't worry about it right now.
Scott, let's transition to college basketball. We're right in the middle of conference tournament. A lot of them have already concluded. There's been a few of the smaller conferences concluded. I know the ACC's in their second day. The SEC starts tonight with a couple, so to speak, playing games. Let's talk about Kentucky with the double bye. And I'm looking at the bracket right now. Of course, Vanderbilt is going to take on the winner of LSU Georgia, and I really think Georgia's got the best team, but I don't. It's hard to say.
LSU is full of athletes, and they're just
yeah, they played well the other night against Florida. I watched that game. So Vanderbilt will either play LSU or Georgia, and Kentucky will have the winner. Scott, your thoughts? They're a 3 seed.
I thought they got the best draw they could have got. In all honesty, I mean, they avoid Arkansas, Tennessee in an early round game. Arkansas, Tennessee, Auburn. I think they got the best draw they could have got. Moving away from Kentucky a little bit, I think what could be the best game of the tournament, the best game of the tournament possibly, and the most significant game of the tournament is a game tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night, might be tomorrow afternoon, I'm not sure. Auburn and Arkansas. I think the winner might be in trouble that game, or the loser may be in trouble for making the NCAA tournament from that game. I think the winner kind of solidifies their spot, so that's a humongous game. That'll be tomorrow. But I love the NCAA tournament. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch as many games as I can of it. But from this point on, the Wednesday through Sunday of the conference tournaments, it's always fun too, because there's always games on all afternoon, late into the evening and night, and just a fun time to get your popcorn and sit down and watch ball.
Of course, as you know, the point guard's out for Tennessee. He's hurt. They're a 5 seed. Tennessee will play the winner of the Ole Miss South Carolina game tonight, and that winner will get Missouri in the quarters. Looks like A&M is going to play the winner of Arkansas and Auburn. As Scott mentioned, they're the 2 seed. Scott, I got to put you on the spot here for a second. Alabama. With all this controversy with the young man who's help me with his name, Player of the Year, Brandon Miller, who provided the weapon, who sent the text that
who drove the weapon to the
he sent the text to the young man that committed the crime that, hey, here's the gun, and there's one in the basically it was a slang for there's one in the chamber. And then that gun was used. I mean, I know I'm not really getting into that, but here's my thing. How's that going to affect Alabama moving forward? It hadn't seemed to caused as much disruption as I would have thought up to now, but how is this going to play out with all this hanging over their head?
The biggest thing I see, and these kids just play ball, so that's what they do. One thing that they have not had to face yet is at the NCAA tournament when they get there, the media availability. You cannot keep the media away from the kids. They have locker room access and they can interview any kid. So it's gonna be the first time that Miller's gonna have a camera shoved in his face to ask him about this stuff, and so that will be interesting. To me, that's an interesting thing to get by that part. But I just watching them some. I'm not sure that they didn't peak in January. I don't think they're just not playing as well right now.
Not to beat a dead horse, but who does the brunt of the blame fall on for the frisking during the introduction of the starting lineup?
That part too.
Like he had a gun, they were frisking him. He had a gun. I mean, does that go back? Nate Oates says he has nothing to do with the starting lineup.
I had read that was not the first time that had happened. That had happened most of the year, and it just got all the eyes on it then after that happened. But I don't know that that's true either. I've not watched. I saw that video, but I've not seen any other video of any Alabama lineup introductions. But
it's got enough.
To me, the whole thing goes back to Coach Oates. I mean, he could not have handled that press conference when he said wrong place, wrong time any worse. I think if he would have come out and said that's above my pay grade, you need to talk to the district attorney, and just basically not commented on it to coach speak around it, I don't think it would have got blown up. I really don't.
Scott, let's talk about Kentucky for a minute. Still nursing a couple injuries, but seem to be playing their best basketball here late.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if Wallace is back or Wheeler, either one, playing the SEC tournament. I think, to me, I would like them both. I'd like to be at full strength as much as you can be to get them playing back together again. But I was just completely shocked Saturday that they beat Arkansas, especially with Wallace out and no point guard, basically. No kids play point guard. I'm not sure that after watching him do it, I'm not sure Toppin shouldn't be the point guard. I think he played well out there. One thing he's got going for him is he can see over the top of the defense. And then, of course, Reeves just went unconscious. And
37.
One of them games, I'm sure the rim looked like it was the size of a hula hoop or something.
Scott, we're down to the last couple minutes here. The top 16 teams in the tournament moving forward, as the experts or whatever have selected. We'll just go through the top 10. Houston, UCLA, Kansas, Alabama, Purdue, Marquette, Texas, Arizona, Gonzaga, Baylor. I'm a TikTok guy.
Yeah.
I got a TikTok the other night that said the trophy has not been handed out west of Texas since 1997.
West of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And Arizona, that was the team that Arizona beat UK in the finals.
Yeah. So there's some really good teams out west. Are we throwing them out? Are we throwing UCLA out?
I think UCLA.
Throwing Arizona out?
I like UCLA this year. They got a lot of those players back from 2 years ago. They made that Final Four run. Obviously, they're missing Juzang that came to UK.
How good's Houston?
I don't know. I watched them Sunday against Memphis, which Memphis is kind of a bubble team. I think they're pretty safely in now, but and I know it was at Memphis, but when you talked about the other night, does home court mean anything anymore? But I don't know about Memphis will play defense, Houston will play defense, and they've got some good guards, but I'm not sure. If they have to outscore a team, I'm not sure how it would go.
Scott, we're down to under a minute. Not hearing anything about Purdue. They're flying under the radar now. A couple teams that I think you need to look out for: Marquette and Miami. They got Marquette at number 6 and Miami at 14. I think they're awful good. Baylor's got really good guard play.
Yeah, Baylor's good guard. I don't believe in me personally. I don't believe in Purdue. I don't think their guards are strong enough. They're 2 freshman guards that were not really highly ranked guards either. Of course, they got the 7'5" kid inside. The other team I don't believe in is, went blank. Kansas. I know they're getting a lot of accolades. I watched them play UK there, and they may well win the whole thing, but I just don't see it.
We want to thank our sponsors: J&S Auto Sales, TJ Regional Health, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College. I want to thank Austin Armstrong, my partner Scott Bennett. Good night, everyone.
Nationwide on CBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show.
All right, how we doing? Rock and roll. Now number 2 of our radio program right here on CBS Sports Radio. It is the Zach Gelb Show. Jake Delhomme will join us 20 minutes from now. Are the Carolina Panthers making a massive mistake by reportedly not pursuing Lamar Jackson, or do you think that's just all a bluff and this collusion that's going on, and you know the inevitable is going to happen when one owner does fade away and break away from the pack, and then we'll see the domino effect that comes after that. So Jake Delhomme will join us, do a little QB carousel talking Panthers in 20 minutes from now. We'll have another QB carousel at 9:20 p.m. Eastern, 6:20 p.m. Pacific, where we highlight the Tennessee Titans, where we do talk to Paul Kaharski. Does a great job covering the team. But right now, it's not another NFL regular season week in the book or a postseason week. We're in the off season. So we're going to bring a blast from the past back and do a little off-season edition, post-franchise tag as you inch closer and closer to the legal tampering period and free agency and the draft coming up, of some overreaction or proper reaction. Hot take, Kiki? Hit it!
Another NFL week is complete, which means it's another week to freak out about your favorite team. Which takes are truly crazy.
But sometimes a game can be so bad, it's almost good. You know what I'm saying? No.
And which are so crazy, they might be right.
He's 6'5", he's 245 pounds. He's probably a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end.
Zach lets you know in this week's edition of Overreaction or Proper Reaction.
He's probably a